Go grab your pen and pad. I have something for you. Have you ever applied for a job and not heard back? LinkedIn asked more than 1,000 hiring managers why they didn't bring someone in for an interview. Most common answer? The candidate didn't have the right skills. Other reasons include significant delays in the candidate's response to calls and emails, frequent job changes, and an inappropriate or unflattering social media presence. LinkedIn career expert Catherine Fisher joins us now. How you doing?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
All right, so why do recruiters find switching jobs frequently as a problem?
It could show that you just don't have a lot of direction and you're not thinking through your career, but oftentimes it actually is well thought out. And so what your job to do is to be able to explain why it is that you're making these changes and really, explain that I was trying to get these new skills. I wanted to, change a different industry. And oftentimes with the job titles, think of those as chapters in a book, right? Gotcha. It gives you kind of a glimpse of what's to come. So your job is then to explain what it is that you were doing, and then that will help tell your story.
You want to prove a forward progression.
Don't leave it up to assumption.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah, don't leave
Exactly. So what about those skills? Saying, you know what, you just don't have the right skills for us. What can we do about that? I know you mentioned something called upskilling.
Yes. So two things could be happening here. One is maybe you do have the skills, you just haven't been selling them, or you're not being very strategic about your job search. So you're just kind of applying anywhere. Take a look at the job description. They will list the skills that they're looking for and make sure that you have those on your resume. You're including them in your cover letter, they're in your profile. And then what is really important is to show the impact that you've had with those skills. So anyone can say, hey, I'm a great manager. Well, okay, so you've managed people, but did it deliver results? So you're going to have to get really comfortable with telling your story and making sure that anytime they're asking for these skills, that you're highlighting those, because that's what they're looking for.
Oftentimes, for big jobs, this is a multi-stage process. And one of the last stages is personal interaction.
Yes.
Is there a fine line between enthusiastic and manic?
That's a good question.
That is a great question. So, and when we say that, one of the things that hiring managers want is enthusiasm, they are looking for, what we don't mean is manic, but what we mean is that they're looking for someone who comes prepared, who has really good questions, has done their homework on the company, and is really able to sell themselves in terms of why they're the best fit for the role. It doesn't mean that every sentence, in correspondence has to have an exclamation point, etc.
Certainly not four.
No, exactly. So it really is about, your enthusiasm shows up by you're putting your best foot forward for that role. Another thing hiring managers don't like is when you're really long to respond. So, make sure that you're responding to requests within 24 hours.
Sometimes it's the little things that matter the most. Yep. What are some surprising reasons why someone wasn't called in for an interview?
Typos. And this is what kills me, is that there's so much, it's so easy to not have typos. Don't let that be the reason you don't get the interview. And if of course, there's lots of technology to help you figure out if you have typos or not. So there's that one thing. Have a friend look over your resume, your cover letter, if you're known for having typos. Because don't let that be the thing that keeps you from
What about using AI?
Of course you can use AI, but make sure it's the first draft and not your final draft. So what you want to do...
Make it look obvious.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it can help you get started.
These people are professionals. So I get the job interview. What are these recruiters looking for when I get that big moment?
Yeah, so they're looking for someone who can actually get in there and be successful, right? So many people can say, yes, I got the job and I'm gonna, I can do this thing really easily, but they want to know that you're going to be in there, be successful, you have a growth mindset. This is the other thing that they're looking for, is a growth mindset.
Gotcha.
So demonstrate that you've been out there learning, because skills, as we know, are changing so rapidly that you're always out there trying to learn the newest thing and keeping yourself really fresh with those skills.
Great advice.
Yeah.
We're going to go home and tell all of our kids.
No doubt.
It's a tough job market out there. It really is.
And I, for one, I'm going to try to keep fresh, too.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what you do.
That's right.
And I won't be manic.